Navneet, you mentioned the word GMV in your conversation, right? For better understanding, everybody what is GMV is gross merchandise value, right? It's the new metric in town or in the world to value startup and internet companies. So your GMV determines your next funding round and evaluation in most of the tech startups. Valuations have been going through the roof and they're getting more and more aggressive. There is some feeling within the environment that there is too much of froth building up in India, right? And you often have very suboptimal, inexperienced, not thought through plans, which either get funded or at least they get tabled. What is your view on what's happening on the valuation side and how do you see this unfolding?
Tough one. So look, I think there have always been plans which have been sane, insane. There have been teams which have been good or bad. But it remains to the investor to sort of evaluate which plan, which team is it that they want to invest in. Is it a plan, as Saurabh earlier said, every plan needs to have some sort of a long-term revenue sort of generated at some point, right? It's your call whether you want to sort of start generating revenue on day one, as Rahul said, or are you sort of confident that the business has its fundamentals in place? You need to achieve scale and then switch on the revenue button. The GMV, in our case, GMV is basically a proxy for the growth, right? But what we also know for sure is that the fundamentals of the business are pretty strong because we get a cut on every percentage, on every GMV, on every dollar GMV that we produce. We get a cut on that. Whether that cut is enough as of now to be able to cover our expenses, it's not. And that's a conscious call that we've taken as of now. But we also know that at a certain scale, when we start sort of switching on the sort of net percentage
So let me ask an honest question. Yeah. Would you put your money behind this?
It is. I already put it, right?
So would you put all your money behind this?
Yeah, all my money is in it.
Okay.
So, so this is basically my second business. The first business which I started was a real business, as you can call it.
Which makes money?
A B2B logistics business which makes money from day one.
Right.
So that went profitable within 6 months of launching.
Right.
It is present in 20 cities, 1,200 odd people work for that business. We do more than 10,000 reverse pickups a day. Coming from a background where capital has always been dear, the revenue part, the sort of the bottom line was very important for me. And that's what I demonstrated when I sort of built that logistics business. But this is a different business. And you have to realize what sort of business you're getting into. Whether I want this to be a lifestyle business or I want this to be a business which at scale can be sort of huge business. Now, in this one, it's a conscious call that I want this to be a sort of multi-billion-dollar business. Whether I'll reach there depends on a lot of factors, how I execute this, what sort of team do I build, is there enough value proposition for the customer. But given the way we are going, I'm fairly confident that we will get there. We have the right partners in place. We're getting more partners very soon. So you have to realize what sort of business you are in and then decide what your primary drivers are, whether it is revenue or whether it's sales, and then your revenue comes at some other point, or it is scale. So it's a conscious call.
So any of you in this panel are in this business for love and fresh air? No. Love and fresh air?
I doubt it.
None of you, right? Yeah. So you want to make tons of money, I resume. You know, if you look back 20 years, I was sharing with one of my panelists early in the conversation that look at private equity business in this country 20 years ago. When it first started, businesses got funded left, right, and center. And some $65–70 billion are invested into the country. And then, you know, post-Lehman, everybody rushed to exit, and there was no exit. And people were left holding their thumbs or sucking their thumbs. So, some part of me tells me there is a similar situation building up over here, right? So, how do you gentlemen propose to make money? Because all of you will not go IPO. you need to go IPO if you're a unicorn, which means $1 billion company. I hope you do. So all my best wishes, of course. But all of you will not, right? So how do you see life? How will you make money? I mean, you put all your savings into the businesses. Somebody's loved your idea. You funded it. You had this adventure ride, as Rahul says, on somebody else's money. But now, how do you take out money for this at the end of the day? After 5 years, 10 years, God knows when. So, any of you can answer that. Actually, I would love to hear from all of you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, being in the real money skill business, because like I said, I'm not in the gambling business, otherwise that definitely is illegal. We can't go IPO because that, again, it's considered real money skill gaming. People question whether it's something that will grow or not grow in the country. So I do want to go IPO. I do want to make $1 billion business. But the point here is that that's where you have to make your 5-year, very few people make 10-year plans. You have to make a basic 5-year plan. In your 5-year plan, you have to put down your goals. I mean, I'm talking like an MBA lecturer, guys, but this is the truth. This stuff actually works. You make a 5-year plan, you put down your goals. In that, you make sure you're personally happy, because when you're personally happy in your life, your business does well as well. You don't want the problems to be mixed, right? You put down those goals, and my goals right now are just to have fun building this business. And you have fun when there's success, but you also have fun when there are challenges, and that's how I treat it. We have challenges every day. I have fights with my co-founder every day. I have fights with the investors every day. I have fights with my team every day. I have fights with the customers are emailing us ridiculous things. I respond to them myself every day. So, but that's the fun part. That's what keeps things going. And the whole point is, in a 5-year plan, we're making money. It's a plan to make money. In that plan, if we get to $1 billion when you go IPO, that's great. But you got to do for the love of it at some point.
Ravi?
We are a revenue earning business within 6 months of starting. Yes, I want to make money. And there are many ways of making money. You make your business make money. You have multiple rounds of valuation. You do partial exits. You keep growing. And then if you feel you've taken the company to a scale, then you do an IPO. So one would not plan for an IPO right now. So one would look at this business 2 to 3 years at a time. And so somebody asked me that if somebody pays you X crores, are you ready to sell your business? I said no.
I was going to ask the same question right now.
I said no. The baby's just been conceived, it's in kindergarten. I'll wait for it
So
to
what
go
if
to college.
somebody paid you 3 times the amount you invested?
Pardon?
If somebody paid you 3 times the amount you invested today,
Yes.
will you exit?
I increased my investment?
No, will you exit your business? If somebody gave you 3x what you invested?
No, not even 5 times. The question I was asked was 5 times.
You're emotional, right?
I'm passionate. I like what I'm doing. I love leaving my office every evening at
Navneet,
8 o'clock.
will you exit? Come on.
No.
What is the last valuation round? Can you, are you willing to table that?
No, I can't tell you that.
Okay. You raised 10 million, right?
That's correct.
You raised 10 million. I presume must have been for a decent valuation.
Sorry?
3x is large money. Is probably 200 crore plus at the least.
Yeah. But the dreams are bigger.
Dreams are bigger. How many of you think you will sell out someday and not go IPO?
Not me.
Not you. Saurabh?
I don't think so.
I don't believe any of these guys, frankly. You know, I have spent all my life doing this business, and I'm telling you, each one of these guys will be willing to accept an offer.
No,
right?
money.
Each one of them.
Money is on the table.
I totally agree.
All decisions change.
I agree.
Decisions, right?
So-
I learned this in India, by the way. Negotiating, you bring cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because then you actually get what you want.
Yeah.
You put that cash right
No,
in your
I raised this issue in a very contextual way, actually. You know, which is that with all these companies building up, consolidation is imminent. And I think 2 things could emerge. A lot of large conventional businesses or people who missed the bus and didn't go online or didn't get receptive will actually acquire some of these businesses to fill up the gap, because some of them will miss bus. And of course, the bigger boys will buy the smaller boys, and some will go bust. So I think that in all probability, and you see that in the valley also, in the Silicon Valley, that it's probably going to be a 70-30 or 80-20 ratio in favor of people getting sold out as opposed to going IPO. So contrary to what a lot of people think, of course, people aspire, to grow businesses, which is the right attitude, but often the writing on the wall is very different. One last question to all the panelists. Given what you all have done in your respective businesses or ideas, and like we started the entire discussion, do you think this is so pervasive, this whole startup, ideation, execution, technology, ecosystem building up, that it'll spare actually no industry and no proposition, and business model will radically change, even in a place like India? Any thoughts? All of you want to?
I think that's definitely going to happen. As Rahul had said earlier, I think now the times in India are changing. If you were to start a startup, say 10 years ago, it would have been a very different environment. Today, the environment is very different, and you can actually see people fresh out of college, thinking of ideas and actually, going out and doing it. When I got out of college, the first thing on my mind was to get a job. Yeah. And now the scene is different. People are willing to take that risk. They see their friends or other people they see inspiring stories of other startups, and they're willing to take those risks. So I would agree with when you say that all of these industries, all of these old businesses are definitely going to get disrupted. People will come with ideas in all of these businesses, for sure.
Saurabh, anything to add?
No, I agree with him that businesses will businesses will get disrupted, but I think our notion of how much technology and what technology was has been changing. So, for example, 5 years ago, when people asked that can doctors be tech savvy, they were talking about PCs and laptops. When people today ask me are your doctors tech savvy, I said yes, they are mobile savvy, and that has been sort of changing the landscape. Everyone who has a smartphone is as competent as as you would let's say 5 years ago when we're using a PC, right? So I think mobile is sort of changing everything, and there's no industry that I can think of will be sort of spared just because it's sort of runs that way. Even automobile is like what Tesla has been doing in the US is nothing short of extraordinary.
Right. So somebody gave me a very interesting statistic some time back, not too far back actually, where they said that the value and the price per share of Priceline, per share, the market cap, is much greater than 3 hotel chains put together with hard assets. So I think just a reference point of what's going on in the world. Maybe it's the wrong reference point, or not the ideal reference point, but gives you a sense of what's happening. I think the point being made over here by everyone, and we're feeling it, is that there is no industry which may be spared the impact of tech disruption, courtesy new ideas, and the digitalization taking place in the world, including India, right, by the young entrepreneurs or by the experienced entrepreneurs. This is here to stay, and this will create many new businesses, very valuable. It'll go make a lot of conventional businesses go out of business, actually. With that, we thank the panelists for this session.